99% of podcasts don't make it past episode 20. Yet here we are 50 episodes later, celebrating a year filled with unforgettable stories, special guest visits, and topics that touched on everything from finding love in the Caribbean to the vibe that makes Punta Cana truly magical. Let's look back at all those highlights, relive those standout moments, and celebrate the journey that brought us here. Let's dive in. Woo! Spumante. After the first year and achieving 50 episodes, I actually still don't believe it. It was a grind at times throughout the year, but now looking back, it's like 50, let's just keep going. This project was conceptualized a year ago with a new marketing team that I had hired to help me take my personal brand to another level. It was kind of a way for me to make more of a contribution to Punta Cana than I was just only as the real estate lady or the billboard lady. We thought about doing a podcast, and I got so excited about that idea because to me, I thought, this is so perfect because I've been telling my story all of these years now, going on 19 years. I was excited to talk with people from Punta Cana and showcase Punta Cana and have them to tell their stories. So really the Punta Cana podcast is about the people of Punta Cana. Well, what I've learned about getting more into the digital world and becoming a YouTuber and creating a podcast is it's a lot of work. So it is not for the faint of heart. I do have a big team. It does require a lot of time. However, to me, it's worth it. What our goal was to share people's stories and experiences. And for that, I would say mission accomplished. It has been so much more than what I thought that it could be, because what I have learned is that there are some really incredible, amazing people here. Also, I learned that there are some themes that are really common across the board, like people who fell in love here like I did, and people who came on vacation and either stayed or moved back right away. Like I thought that I had a unique story, and what I ended up learning was that Punta Cana is a vibe, and that's something that we started realizing halfway through the year, is that so many people said they felt a vibe here. I remember in the beginning actually having anxiety. I'm really good with people one-on-one and naturally, but not really good in front of the camera. And on podcast mornings, I would literally have anxiety attacks because I would be at home like frozen, like, what do I wear? How am I gonna do my hair? I'm not ready. What if I, just all of the, I call them cucarachas, the limiting talk that we give ourselves. I can't do this, I'm afraid, what do I do? And they're calling me like, we're here for you. And I'm like, oh my God, just an all out sweat. But my team, they're the best people. Like I have my makeup guy, Ismael, I have the camera video guy, Tony, and I have Angelo, who's the producer, director, and these guys, they make me look good. They've made the podcast happen. Of course, we cannot forget not only the crew that is on the ground, but there's also Expats, who started out in Bangladesh. He's now in Shanghai. So if you can imagine, we would have to coordinate the time because they're 8 hours ahead. And that was always tricky. But now that he is in the university in Shanghai, they're 12 hours ahead. So there's always one of us that is in the middle of the night or the middle of the morning. Generally, I get up and we start at 5 o'clock in the morning, editing the podcast episodes and correcting little things and this and that. So that is a part of my role on the podcast, not only as the host, but I also do the final editing with my editor. It's actually really neat watching the episodes because I learn as I watch them. It's a totally different perspective than being in front of the camera than actually editing. Some of our biggest learnings of the year is to have episodes in the bank. We are sometimes like sliding in right under the deadline. And we've worked all year to actually get a couple of episodes, what I call in the bank. Life happens, right? And we're really almost like just in time. But like, for example, our editor lived in Bangladesh and they had a complete uprising, like they overthrew their government this year and their top politicians actually fled the country. He was a part of the student riots. So he was out there fighting on the front lines for liberty and for his country while then working on the podcast, or the instability with the electricity in Bangladesh and the flooding that happened there. Like all of those things impacted us. There were weeks when we did not get the episode out on Sunday because he was trying to survive, which is just such an interesting perspective doing this project. We have some of our editors are in Colombia, and we have team members in Argentina and Philippines and Lithuania, actually. And so our team is a very diverse team from all over the world, and there are different things going on everywhere. So that was kind of a learning, is to get more ahead of the game because we're almost like live, even though we're pre-recorded. So that would be one. Some of our biggest learnings actually this year have been from some of the influencers who have come in and said, why do you start the episode by saying, hi, my name is Cheryl Henderson. Welcome to the Punta Cana Podcast. We have changed that. Like now we know you got to come in with a hook. So we make sure that we get a hook. So that's been something that has been neat. And also some of our original episodes started out with this yellow animation and this music. And how many times did I get people send to me and say, they would literally scroll and say, look at all of this, and it's all this interesting stuff. And then you get to mine and it's like, ooh, ooh. I loved it. I literally loved it in the beginning, but I did not understand how things worked. So now we've learned how things work, and we still have that, but we don't lead with that. My philosophy is to take action and to adjust along the way. And one of the things that I really love about what we've done in the team is that, you know what, we were like, let's do it, let's go for it. We did not get into analysis paralysis. Yeah, we did miss a couple of Sundays, but at the end of the day, guess what? We have 50 episodes, you know, and we're continuing, and we've learned and we've course corrected. We've had some really impactful feedback throughout the year of this podcast, and some of the most notable would be people who have actually moved here this year after having watched the podcast. And I'm really proud of that because I am always saying, you know, move to Punta Cana, come to Punta Cana, change your life, live a better life. I say it all the time, I believe it. And it's really rewarding to have people to have the confidence to come and to make that move and to give it a shot and to try a better life. For me, it is just really full circle. You know, some of them we want to have on the podcast. Some of them we already have had on the podcast, like Justified, who saw the episode and decided to move, and he had been here a month telling his story, and that's actually one of our most popular episodes. So for sure, you can be sure that we're going to be seeing Justified in this next chapter of the Punta Cana podcast to just see how he's been doing now that he's been here maybe 6 or 7 months, and to follow his journey as well. I can truly say that I have grown tremendously throughout this experience of the first 50 episodes of the Punta Cana podcast. And from back in the days of trying to order the equipment and make sure we had everything, and setting up the set with the tape on the ground and the white couch and the anxiety attacks and the storms and everything, all the obstacles that we met along the way and the challenges, I can say that now the team, I mean, we've been working together for a year, the same team, and we've gotten a lot of the kinks out. And literally, I am most excited about the days that we are filming the podcast. I know it's going to be a great day. I know I'm going to meet somebody very interesting. I don't have to pick the outfits. I just take a shower and I walk out the house. And it's so exciting now to come and to sit in front of somebody and to have them tell their story, to unfold their experience, and to discover something about one of the members of the Punta Cana community, somebody that you may run into at the grocery store or at the movie theater, or your kids might be in the school with their kids. It's really about community, and that is my dream and my vision, and I'm very happy to be bringing it to life. All of us are bringing it to life. So now let's get into some of those episodes of some of our favorite guests talking about some of the most common themes that we discovered throughout the Punta Cana podcast, these first 50 episodes. Starting with, why did you move to Punta Cana?
The short version of the story is we actually went to Aruba on vacation, and my wife and I were at just a small little beach bar there, and very casually she said to me, you know, this is a lot of fun and it's beautiful here. We should maybe think about opening a beach bar one day. My mom always said, listen to your wife, so I said, why not? Let's do it.
And the rest is history. Thank you so much for coming. No, so, I love it.
Yeah, but I mean, we loved Aruba, but I found that it was really small and very expensive compared to Punta Cana. Punta Cana had a much better economy, and so we were very excited. And I jumped on a plane and brought a buddy down here and looked around, found a spot to open a business, and that's how we're here.
Wow.
I came in 2001 when my father was first in 98 to open a Argentinian restaurant. And after I came in 2001 to help him, and I started to build this kind of parties at the beach.
Yes.
With the more like housey music, and we get to the point to no massive, but was like the Wednesday of party was insane, and we create this, and after that they show me this part of the beach and says, man, why if you don't open a new thing with this kind of concept,
yes,
like we are doing only one time a week? And I said, oh man, let's do it.
Well, actually, I had some lists of requirements for the country where I would like to live. And first of all, it was easy to immigrate. Then people have to speak Spanish because I've learned Spanish in the university. And then, what it was? Of course, turquoise water, palm trees. I mean, the whole year, summer. This is what the must. And then I just opened the map and I saw 2 islands. I mean, no more islands that fit my list of requirements. And it was Cuba and Dominican Republic. So the choice was quite easy. So I already, and this time, I remember the Soviet Union, communism and things like this. So I definitely won't live in Cuba. And that's why I decided to move to Dominican Republic.
I did come to Punta Cana because I do see a lot of opportunity here. I do see the growth. I do see the interest in many sectors to expand to here. It's a great way of life. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to do whatever you need to do. You want to raise a family, Punta Cana is great for that. You want to work, Punta Cana is great for that. you want to retire, Punta Cana is great for that too. As La FICE, as Latin America Financial Services, having our main office, our corporate office in the States, we do like the idea of helping U.S. citizens, vets, Dominicans with U.S. citizenships. We do love the idea of helping you finance whatever dream it is you have or you want to have in Punta Cana.
Second divorce to start because of the golf. So I'm a golfer.
Okay.
And at that time, they were having a lot of good specials with the resorts in golf. So I started coming down to play golf, and after about my third time coming down, I fell in love with it. I really did. The climate, the people, the golf, obviously. And over the next couple of years, I just kind of started moving myself here a little bit at a time until I stopped going back.
Made the plunge.
I love it. Yep, I love it here.
Great.
And I just said it's enough. And a year later, with the vision in mind of, at some point I'd love to go somewhere for like 3+ months with my family. I want that kind of flexibility.
Yes.
My wife and I decided we're going to do it here. So we came for a year. It's been 2. We just committed to our 3rd year. So I think
Wow.
we've got that bug of like I came for a week and never left.
Well, I came here for a job, actually. I had a contract for a year. I loved it so much, apart the fact that I got to know a lot of super nice, interesting people and my husband.
Oh.
And because of all of these positive inspiration in Punta Cana, I decided I stay here. I'm not going back to Germany.
I came with a group of friends, all guys. We had like just wanted to kind of get away, come to the island, see the ladies, go to a couple clubs, just hang out and vibe. And a couple of my friends own real estate here as well. A couple of my friends are realtors, and so, property owners. And so we were looking at properties as well. And so in the midst of it, I was just like, man, I've been to Puerto Plata before, and I was there during college. I went there like a couple of times, but I never came to Punta Cana. And I was like, man, this place is really vibing. I like it a lot. And I always had in the back of my mind that, I would like to settle down in DR. I just didn't know which part. So I told my friends, I'm like, look, while we hanging out and partying, we drinking and just kicking it and vibing, I'm like, look, man, I'm coming back.
I work with tourism. My father works with tourism. So through this, I lived also in Cape Verde Islands, working with tourism. From there, I moved to Costa Rica, also working with tourism. And then I arrived here in Punta Cana, working for Rio Hotels, for the hotel chain. Then I knew my husband. And I felt now this is the place where I will settle down and where I will stay and develop also some personal projects.
Well, I came here from Canada just over 14 years ago.
14 years ago?
14 years. It goes fast. I was working in the corporate world and had been here on vacation and just kept coming and going, I need to be here.
Wow.
And I gave up my job, got a package, and came down to live with no job here.
Wow.
And your team found me my first rental here, and then you guys asked me to come work for you in real estate, which I did for a couple of years, and then I decided maybe we need more property management because you were always looking for people that your clients could trust, and I asked you if it would be a great idea, and then here we are today.
Just very coincidentally, I was invited to Punta Cana by an aunt, and then we went to an excursion. And when I introduced myself and I said, oh, Alberto, I'm a veterinarian, a wildlife veterinarian. I don't know even why I introduced myself like that. And that person, he said, what? Yeah, I'm a veterinarian. Oh, can you please come to my office tomorrow at 9 a.m.? So, okay. Anyways, long story short, I ended up being the veterinarian for a aquarium in the middle of the sea where I was in charge of more than 10 sharks.
I was young, I was naive, I was ambitious.
Yes,
and I was looking for my spot under the sun. And I found Dominican Republic.
I moved here to Punta Cana because I had a contract with a company, Cocobongo. They just started here. And I worked there for 6 years. And after that, I decided that it was time to move on, to do something different with my life. And I said to my husband, you know what, let's make something familiar. Let's do something that I know how to do. And what I do know is to teach how to dance. And then we opened the studio and it's going good so far.
I moved to the country initially for a couple of months. I thought I'd be in Las Terrenas for 2 or 3 months. And then I had a weekend down here in Punta Cana. And I knew immediately this was the place I wanted to be. I went back to Las Terrenas. stayed another week, and the following weekend I came back down here and stayed, and that's where I've been ever since.
My story starts because my parents are originally Dominican, so born in the States and back and forth as a kid, I eventually decided to come to the country.
I've lived in Dominican Republic almost 11 years.
Almost
in Punta
11
Cana, right now, October will be 7 years.
Okay, and you have a family here?
I have a wife. She has a tennis academy in Punta Cana village.
People ask me all the time, this is one of the most asked questions, is about safety. Is it safe? Well, let's listen to what some of our guests have had to say about safety in Punta Cana.
And not to forget about the security down here. A lot of people think about security down here and safety. I haven't had to worry about a thing down here. As far as, I walk at night, I'm all over the place down here. And I just pop up in places that people wouldn't expect. My wife calls me 3-4 times a day. How you doing? How you doing? Just stop calling. I'm good. I am good.
Most people don't associate Dominican Republic with safety, but we found that it's safer here. So all of these things we learned along the way. Like, we came for the adventure. We stayed for the life, for the lifestyle, for what it provides our family, truly. We feel like our kids are a little bit less, restricted here. They can go and be and do the stories you and I would have growing up. Like, I disappeared at 7 a.m. and I came back at 9 p.m. or whatever, right? Those stories exist here still.
I just feel safer here. I feel appreciated and chosen. I can be in the middle of a neighborhood.
Love that. Chosen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You feel seen. People greet you. They go out of their way to help you. I could never be out struggling to do something. Everyone, can I help you? Can you help me? Ayuda.
How nice is that?
It's so nice.
Where's a safe place to live, or is it safe overall in general? And I've found that, like, I've gone to Puerto Plata, we've driven all the way up there and back, I've been around Santo Domingo, and the country overall, especially Punta Cana, is very safe.
Yes.
I've known people that have moved from other countries, that have moved from tropical countries here,
yes,
because they felt even safer here than they did in their own country.
That's true.
In Cocotal, we work on a 3-part system. We have, the first line is controlling who comes in and out.
Yes.
And that's why we implemented the QR codes. That is good for everyone.
Yes.
Everyone visiting. Everyone that is a property owner or a resident has a card.
Yes.
They need to swipe the card to come in and out. So with those two, I have the majority of people who's coming in and who's coming out. Then we have the electronic surveillance. We have 158 closed circuit cameras.
158 cameras. That's a lot of cameras.
All throughout the streets. We know everyone that goes in and out, where they go to or no.
Okay.
Or we have control of where they're going and coming from.
One of the things that I always talk about is how friendly people are in Punta Cana. I mean, people are so friendly. They say hello. They want to talk to you. They give you the time of day. They want to help you out. And this is one of the things that I really love about living here, and I'm not the only one who feels that way. Let's hear from some of our guests about what they believe and feel about the friendly environment and the friendly ambiance from the people of the Dominican Republic.
I was just going to say, it's something about the Caribbean, and it's something about living here that people are friendly. They whatever you need, they'll figure it out one way or the other for you.
The community here has been incredible, very open. They have been so respectful, and I love that about people that come here. It's like they know they're coming to a whole new place, whether it's like different culture, different food, circumstances like the internet. Like, it's just a whole different ball game out here. But when you find your people, they just kind of take you through it. They hold your hand and they help you out, and there's no, I would say, like, people don't do it just, out of interest for anything. They just really genuinely happy to help.
It's one thing that I've been in other countries, and yes, other countries have some amazing cultures, but here, it's something that I always found special, because it's not about the money that people have. You know, if we look at the local populace, there's a lot of differentiation between what's available, what's not. But even people that have so little are so happy.
Yes.
And that to me is true wealth. That is true amazingness, without getting too emotional about it. But it's like, for what Machuca had to have happen, it was basically me kind of being a bit lost. It was me wanting to be with better people to also make a difference, be in the right spot at the right time, and it all just clicked.
Dominicans, Latins are totally different to teach as Europeans.
Oh yeah? How is that?
Completely. When I used to coach in Germany, kids came as the weather was outside. So it was foggy, it was raining, the kids were super sad, bad behavior, you know. Really, I would spend a lot of time to make them happy. And over here, it's the opposite. Kids come already super happy to classes. And when they leave, they're like, bye, Miss Anya. And I'm like, oh my God, that's it. This is the energy that I get from kids, and I give them. And this is what makes me like really happy over here.
And everybody's super friendly. I mean, whether it's a Dominican, whether it's an expat, everybody here is so friendly. I love this country. I love the people, even from the police. I've had the police just be so friendly and guided you, or where are you from? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Slow it down, or, you know, take it easy, or, you know, oh, where are you going? Okay, yeah, you have to turn left up here. So it's been a great time.
Cat's Corner is the place where people meet other people. They become friends, they become family, some of them. And that is what makes it special.
Yes.
Because we do have live music. When we started with like 2 tables or 3 tables with a couple of people. Now these people become a good friends. So they know each other. Now we normally put 5-6 tables together, but for 20 people, because everybody wants to sit with each other, because they become the best friends, family, and that is what makes it special.
And it's going to be the quality of life, being close to the sea, to the beach, smelling the fresh air that goes through your nostrils, that cleanses you inside, to be around people that smiles you, that helps you release the dopamine. People who care, a clinic that cares, that knows your name, that is always there for you when you need them. That quality of life that you get, that's what's going to keep you happy and healthy.
Island time is real. This is one of the biggest adjustments that North Americans have to make when moving to Punta Cana, is island time. Now we have all kinds of time, Jamaican Standard Time and CP time and this time, that time, and whatever else. But island time is real, and it is something that you need to know to plan in advance for before you visit or move here. And here are some tips from some of our guests.
For example, me, as a New Yorker, this was very slow paced for me. Right? Like
I can imagine.
Over there is like chop, chop, I need it yesterday. Here is like, what do you mean? Like, let's talk, let's like slow down. You can't come with pressure. You can't go to a business establishment and expect them to do things. I mean, I'll give you a prime example. I had to come in an Uber today because my car, there was an issue with my car. I took it, right, to the mechanic or whatever that's called, and they said, we'll give it to you in a few hours. It's been 3 days.
Okay.
So with that being said, Caribbean time, right? For me, that was definitely a challenge because I'm very like chop, chop, let's get it done.
Are there pros and cons? There's pros and cons everywhere you live.
Exactly.
And you can't focus on the cons so much, because then you're just not going to enjoy your life here. And, you know, I've had friends and acquaintances that have stayed back and forth. And what I've noticed is that if they leave the States and they come to the Dominican Republic expecting it to be the United States, you're going to be miserable.
Exactly.
Because it's not that. But if you come here willing and open to be able to accept the culture, immerse yourself in the culture as much as you can, right? And if you can do that, you're going to have a good time. You're going to enjoy yourself. You're going to be happy, right? Like you really are.
That is island life. I mean, it's like you get up in the morning and it's, you know, I feel like this today.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like shorts and flip-flops today.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like shorts and flip-flops tomorrow, too.
You can feel like shorts and
So
flip-flops
flip-flops
every day.
That's
And it's
island
all
life.
good.
Yes, and it's no competition of how you got to dress or how you got to be or how you got to act. I mean, you just be human.
Sure, obviously it's a different culture, it's a different country. There's going to be a different culture. You know, getting used to the Dominican lifestyle where everything's a little tranquilo, as we like to say.
Tranquilo.
And you know, coming from a fast-paced life and a fast-paced business, it's been a challenge for me to kind of try to adjust a little bit
to the pace, because the pace is different, because you can be used to just running and then all of a sudden it's like slow
you need to
down.
put
One of the
an armor
funniest things I
of
find about-
patience on yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to acclimate. You're coming to a different country with a different mentality. I know especially Americans are all about time frames and schedules and, you know, everything has to be just so. That's not the case here, guys. Okay?
Definitely not.
You're talking about a country that the economy is on the rise, the infrastructure is ever improving, but it is far from being a completely developed country in that sense. It's on a growth path.
The second thing is maybe a bit of Dominican culture, not being on time. So
Island time. It's real. It's real.
yeah, sometimes, I mean, that was from the start. Kids, you know, for example, you have class from 4 to 5, and from 8 kids, 5 kids come 15 minutes over the time. Every time when I go on vacation to Europe, and when I come back, I'm like, Anya, don't stress. The time is always on your side.
Yes.
Don't stress. So, yeah, it was, but now I think it's like so easy, and when I see people happy and, you know, not stressing about it, I'm like, okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
The energy. We talk a lot about the energy. This has to be one of my favorite themes, and one of the things that I love the most about the Punta Cana podcast is when I'm sitting with a guest and they tell their story and somehow the universe comes up, energy comes up, the vibe comes up, because that is what I literally felt when I came here. And it must be true because there have been the majority of our guests who have their own story about the connection they feel with this country.
At that time, I was just so on the boom and very focused on what I want to achieve. And I know on the universe, when it's the moment, when you put it in the universe, when it's its own moment, it will happen. I knew, okay, this real estate thing is with me. I just literally just made a, thought about it. I just threw it in my head. I'm at the moment of growth with the candles and jewelries. And then boom.
And I also think that there's always a destiny. There's always like spiritual path that you have to do in your life, in your timeline. And if you understand science, if you understand the nature of our life, everything will be fine.
With my mentality and the years of spirituality that I've been doing, was difficult to find people that would align with that per se. But yeah, when you make a decision, when you know what you want, you don't need 10, 20 people. I just needed that one person.
Yes.
And I found that one person because the universe always provides. I guess we can say get set on what it is that I want or what it is that I need. So I guess when the universe provides, it provides when you have exact clarity of what you want.
Now we're going to hear from some of our guests talking about finding happiness and finding themselves right here in Punta Cana.
I'm going to have my business in the States, but maybe I don't want to live in a big city no more. Maybe I don't want to deal with the crime. I don't want to deal with all the people. Maybe I do want to move to Punta Cana and live close to the beach, which, right? Why not? Right? And be able to still have my business digitally online and use AI to its fullest potential.
So here we are. We're back in the Dominican Republic, and now we know why. Because it's beautiful. The people are beautiful. We just love it.
Incredible.
It's incredible. We love it. I don't know how I can get someone to understand or to get that feeling that you have when you get up in the morning and you just look around and you know that, hey, I'm in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
I finally found my paradise. And this is paradise. And I'm sure it'll be paradise to you too if you're on your way. If you want to retire, this is your paradise. You just have to come and see for yourself. I'm not saying drop everything and just come and move. Come and just take a look for yourself, and then you make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
So I was here on a holiday, and I felt so immensely happy.
Really?
In this place. I totally remember it. So I came back here and I had the exactly same intense feeling that I originally had in 2000, and that just made me click, right?
Wow.
So I just knew this was not because it's the Caribbean. It really clearly has something to do with this place, with this location. And since I'm in the energy profession and I'm a highly energetic, sensitized person, I just went with my gut feeling.
Essentially, most of my life I spent in construction, that kind of thing, working with concrete, doing some pretty wild projects, and did a complete 180 from that when I came here. And that really, it was like such a profound impact. It impacted my soul, it impacted my vision. It basically said to me, it called to me, saying, Joel, guess what? You're still young, you still got your abilities to do this, you can still make the world a better place. We're putting you here right now, and you're starting.
Wow. So you felt like...
It felt like I was meant to be here.
Let's talk about love. Yes, I found love in Punta Cana. I was not looking for it, but it happened. And now my husband and I are 15 plus years together, and we are very happy. I could not be happier. I just feel my face getting warm just even talking about it. And having come out of a previous relationship that was not good, sometimes you don't know if you can find happiness or if you deserve happiness. You know, we go through all that stuff in our brains when relationships don't work. Many of them don't work, but I found my soulmate. We found each other right here in Punta Cana, and I am really living the dream. So let's hear about some of our guests who have also found love in Punta Cana.
So our love, I was able to find my dream woman here. It's a little bit, she's Dominican, so of course a lot of cultural differences, but yeah, like I said, I love the country. So I also love this woman, like just gezellig, like I said before.
That word, now I know that Dutch word that doesn't translate, but it just means good stuff.
Exactly. Just
okay.
A good vibe.
Yes.
So yeah, now having a baby on the way. Even.
What? Yeah. So you're going to be a daddy?
Be a dad, yeah.
Okay, so when is the baby due?
In January.
Whoa.
I met my love here, so he's Dominican. So, and we have a family, we have a dog husky.
Oh, a husky dog?
Husky, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
All white.
Wow.
And it's Blanca because...
Blanca?
Yeah.
Well, Blanca means white, so of course.
Yeah. We travel a lot, but we always come back to Punta Cana.
Yeah, when you make a decision, when you know what you want, you don't need, 10, 20 people. I just needed that one person.
Yes.
And I found that one person because the universe always provides. It wasn't that difficult. You basically need the usual legal papers from your home country, and you can get that translated and stamped and sent here. And then you go to Junta Central, which I have no idea how to say it in English. Anybody idea? So it's an office where you go, you make an appointment, and yeah, my wedding was pretty short. We had 2 witnesses, which are our best friends. Apparently some rules has changed lately, so you got to check up on that. But we went there, got an appointment, went into the office, got the spiel of the, what is it even called? The servant, or the guy who gets you married. What is it? I don't know what's the name.
The judge? I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, judge something. He was so serious. I remember my wedding. He was so serious. I kept on laughing, and it's like, he was so serious. I'm like I'm trying to have a good time over here. And, and nothing. And we signed the papers, 15 minutes, and we were out.
We talk about love in the Caribbean too. So did you know him before you moved here?
Yeah, I knew him before.
Okay, so you followed him here.
Kind of. We were friends, and I was like, you know what? I have a very good friend in Caribbean. Why I should not go there every time for vacation?
Yes.
So this is how it started. And I fell in love with him, and I fell in love in Dominican Republic.
When I first moved here back in 2006, I had a 4-year-old in tow, and we started this adventure here together. I had clients along the way throughout the years asking about raising kids, or even saying that they wouldn't move here until their kids were out of high school so that they could have the freedom to move to Punta Cana. And a lot of it was because there was uncertainty about the quality of education or of lifestyle to raise a child here in Punta Cana. Me having a military background, I grew up all over the world, so I did have a value in that international experience, and so I did it. Now I have a story to tell about raising a child here in Punta Cana. I would absolutely highly recommend it. I felt safe here with my child here going to school, no metal detectors, and all of this that you're hearing about the dangers in the schools. Now he's 23, he's kind, he's intelligent, he's running his business. Actually, it's his business and his team that are responsible for this podcast. He has a marketing company. And you know, I would not only say that it could be good or a nice idea to raise a child here, but I would absolutely recommend it from experience. So here are some of our guests who are raising children here to tell you what their thoughts are about the same subject.
For me, Punta Cana is the best place in the world where you can raise kids and live and have a business. The balance between running my own business and family and kids, it's always passion, it's always time, but we try to manage it as best as possible. We try to make some traditions with our kids, for example, Sunday breakfast, or go to the beach once a week. But
just once a week?
Yes.
We go maybe once. I was thinking month. I'm lucky if I get to the beach once a month, but that's good.
Because I have kids, so not raising kids in Santo Domingo is not something that I want. And when my kid turned 1, we decided to move to Punta Cana, where I feel like there's this beautiful combination of the beach life and still city life when you need it.
Okay.
I have also passion, it's my kids.
Yes.
Right? I have 3 beautiful boys.
3 boys?
3 boys.
Ooh,
yes.
Wow.
I moved here with a child, with my older son. He was a little bit less than 2 years. His name Yuri. He just turned 12.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm really happy to leave this country and my child's born here. I think it's a really good place. My children can grow more like a more quiet place than, for example, my country. I love my country, but here really they grow more comfortable, more safe. I think so, and the education is good. Yeah, I think it's good, and I'm happy.
Dominican Republic, especially in this place, was the best of the choices that I picked for my daughter. She was free, she was playing. Yes. She never felt the isolation that other people, other side of the world faced.
The most important aspect or thing that I can tell you about my newborn is that you can see in his face that there is no anxiety. because there's no noise. Everything here is so super relaxed.
He's an island baby, right?
Yes.
Literally.
And a beach baby here with the
Yes.
sun and like
Yes.
everybody say like, you have to put him on the sun. Don't worry, there's no problem here. with
Yeah,
that.
of course not.
And my brother's wife, when she came with my niece a couple of days ago, she was amazed of like the tranquility.
Punta Cana Heritage School is a pre-K all the way to 12th grade school. We start receiving students as young as one. When they can walk and they're ready to come into school, we will receive them. And we go all the way up to 12th grade. And when we say we have an American type curriculum, what that essentially means is that all of our classes are taught in English, in the English language, with the exception of Spanish class and social studies class, which is sociales, which is what has to be taught here in the Dominican Republic in Spanish.
Yes.
But all of our students take their classes, their special classes during the day. All of their core content is taught in English, and we follow an American curriculum. So the wonderful thing to your viewers out there that are looking at the possibility of relocating to Punta Cana is it allows the flexibility for their children to be educated here, and then if at some point they go back to the United States, they're going to be able to insert into the U.S. system, no problem.
Many of the guests and the majority of the guests of the Punta Cana podcast are actually entrepreneurs. They own and run their own businesses. So I loved all of the episodes where they shared their tips for doing business or about the opportunities that we have here in Punta Cana if you are interested in coming here and starting a business yourself.
So I would say that the first step is having an open mind.
Okay.
To learn, right? The way that I can help you, right? Because I'm talking about me in this case, is I will find out what your goal is. Because not everybody has the same goal. Not everybody's looking for the same thing. There are people that are looking to just make some extra income to get by. There are other people that are looking for full-time income. There are people that are looking to complement what they already do. So depending on that is the recommendation that I would make. Then having that willingness to learn, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be getting a course that is going to teach you exactly how to do it. From the ground up, A through Z, all things digital marketing, and also how to set up your business so that it can run on auto. So you can literally make money while you sleep. Yeah, Cheryl. I made $1,000 while I was sleeping right before I came to this podcast.
Really?
And there's a lot of great stuff that's coming up. Like I said, investment opportunities. Everywhere you look, there's some new project that's worth looking at.
Yes.
Nothing is done not deliberately. When you think about it as an investment, right now is a really good time because right now it's when it's starting to accelerate. But you look around and you see so many opportunities yet to be fulfilled. The thing we have most of here in Punta Cana is land. And when you see a lot of land, you see a lot of building that's coming.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of opportunity that's coming. And you see that we're still a baby. It's been a tourist spot for 30 years, but it's still a baby.
I think that the key to success is actually to love what you do. It's so simple.
The most important thing is when you come to a foreign country like this, you have to understand, is this something I can tolerate? Because it's not something for everyone. I've seen businesses pop up in a month and drop in 3 months. I've seen people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in a business that they think it's going to be super great and the idea is beautiful, but just to be accustomed to the culture and how things are done here is not easy. And they're not open for more than 5 months. So you have to have a mentality, one, of I'm ready for open learning and culture. You have to be a strong person as well, because obviously you're in a new culture, there's new customs, good and bad, and you have to be able to accept both of them with a positivity and a negativity when the time comes and it's right.
Punta Cana is a great place since it's in development all the time and it's growing a lot. Once you have the key points about like your economic side, like well known, and you get your personal, there's many aspects on the business that will make you successful. And sometimes if you miss one, then you probably get stuck. Besides the investment and having the right people around you, being resilient and disciplined is a big part of it. It's not only about serving or depending on the type of business that you're going to open. You have to have the right market, like cater to the right market. Sometimes if I want to open a super high-end
that's maybe not my market here. I maybe have to wait or go to a different area where I can cater to that type of client. So knowing your market is a big thing. And that's one of the reasons why we were able to adapt, because our business allowed us to location, right staff, right menu, smile all the time. You're in the tourism area, so people come here too, vacation, relax. So that's the type of client that we're carrying on majority of the time. Besides the local people that live here, that are part of our community.
Every company growing like a lot. For example, the flower company. When I start with the flower company, they have like some few events by week, but just right now they have till 15 events by day.
What?
Can you imagine? Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, working with all the resorts, different venues, so there are a lot of opportunity of any business like entertainment and decor and flowers. So, yeah.
There is a lot of opportunities, guys. Everybody that's out there that wants to come to Dominican Republic, especially to Punta Cana, there is opportunity for you to become part of our team.
You can do a lot here on a small budget. If you are a food content creator, there's so many places that you can eat and have like little snacks and different things that's not too expensive. If you're a fitness content creator, you have the beach everywhere, and there are a lot of great gyms here too. If you're a beauty content creator and you work with models, there's so many different faces and beautiful people here. It's honestly one of the better environments for content creating, also because the weather is beautiful a lot of the times. Yeah.
If you want to be a trainer here in Punta Cana, is just start. Just start. You can't go wrong with it. Number one is be personable, study, try to learn the language if you can so you can communicate a little bit better. But overall, make sure you're doing it because you love helping people and not maybe because of money. Because if you do love people, the money will follow.
In social media, I totally understood you have to entertain or educate people.
Yes.
This is like one of the principal techniques to keep people in your user or scrolling.
And in case you didn't know, real estate is one of my favorite subjects. I have made my fortune in real estate, so why not? And I love talking about real estate. So for me, it's always a really nice treat when I have a guest who talks about real estate or who has bought real estate or has an opinion about how good real estate is here. So you don't only have to hear it from me, but these are some of our guests sharing about real estate and their real estate experiences here in Punta Cana.
The real estate, there is opportunities here because let's say you go to America, right? You can't buy nothing for $100,000.
No.
So that's why people come here, because there is, properties within 5-10 minute walk to the beach or $100K.
Yes. And that's really great.
Exactly.
And these are properties where you can earn income, you can rent them, Airbnb
Yes.
or booking.com or whatever, what have you. There are ways to make money and own property
Yes.
for less than $100,000.
There you go.
Construction all over the places, prices of the real estate, how they have changed.
Oh yeah, it's definitely growing. So
Yeah.
don't wait.
Don't
That's
wait,
what I'm
exactly.
telling you.
Yeah.
How safe is it to invest and buy property in the Dominican Republic?
Well, I will say it is extremely safe more and more. And the reason to that is because we do have the mechanisms in place, we do have the entities in place, we do have the institutions in place to protect people's investment, to protect buyers' investment.
It's real estate. But everyone does real estate the same thing. They always focus on, and that's my whole thing. I've never focused on bricks. I never think that real estate is just bricks or cement or architecture. Of course, that's a big part of it, but for me, it's more like, especially in Punta Cana, I say it to everyone, Punta Cana is a vibe. So you need to sell a vibe. When you do real estate in Punta Cana and you forget the lifestyle in Punta Cana, you're not selling real estate.
Yes. Imagine being part of a thriving real estate market without the overwhelming costs and risks typically associated with property investment. Welcome to the International Property Investors Alliance, where we turn your investment dreams into reality with our groundbreaking approach to group investing. Everyone should have the opportunity to invest in real estate. That is why we've created a platform that allows you to join forces with other like-minded investors, pooling your resources for minimum entry while maximizing your potential returns. Contact us today.
There you have it, the first 50 episodes of the Punta Cana Podcast in a nutshell. And we have all of the future in front of us. One of the things that we have learned throughout this experience is that Punta Cana is a vibe. And so what you are going to see in the future on this channel is a new series called Punta Cana is a Vibe, where we will not only have guests here for the podcast, but we are going to take the show on the road to actually show Punta Cana. So stay tuned for all that we have to come, and please give us feedback. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. Leave us a comment to let us know who you would like to see as a guest on a future episode of the Punta Cana Podcast. If you have not already done so, be sure to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you on the next episode.